So, recently I went on a little bit of an endeavor. And by a little bit, I mean that I spent 100 hours of my life grinding out 1,000 NUCLEUS runs, and today I'm going to take you on that journey with me. First off, though, if you want to know how I did the NUCLEUS runs, then I would definitely recommend watching my NUCLEUS run guide, which will be linked in the description. Anyways, we have to start with why I did the NUCLEUS runs. I was looking for something new to do in mining, and I really hadn't done NUCLEUS runs at all, so I decided to broaden my horizons in a way with it. I initially only wanted to do 100 runs, but got hooked and decided to go all the way to 1,000. NUCLEUS runs at the time also gave a ridiculous amount of coal weight. If you don't know what that is, there's also a video in the description on that. So much so that we actually had to nerf the amount it gave. I also was chasing the beautiful Devon's alloy. Like, imagine how good of a screenshot of that chat message saying that I got a Devon alloy would be. It's just so fitting. And let's be honest, I also wanted to do it for content. So when I started the runs, obviously the first thing I needed was Devon tools. I quickly discovered that these actually take a really long time, as long as NUCLEUS runs themselves. But I was so excited to do the runs, I wasn't really deterred. However, by the end of the 1,000 runs, I was so utterly bored of Devon tools that I ended multiple streams just to sheer boredom and having a headache or something. It's pretty much the reason I stopped doing NUCLEUS runs in the first place. For context, I've opened over 20,000 Mines of Devon treasure chests. You see this backpack? Yeah, take that, multiply it by 100. That's how many tools I collected. Anyways, by the end, I spent about 42 hours opening Mines of Devon treasure chests. That was not fun by any measure. Before I get into the egregious amount of coins I spent on automaton parts, I would like to bring your attention to the fact that we are so close to catching up to my Discord, which passed me on the 1st of November last year. It's been months of suffering. If you subscribe to help me ratio my own Discord, that would mean the world to me. Moving on to the next thing I needed for the runs, automaton parts. Now, I'm really lucky that I'm not an Iron Man for this one, as, for most things, it makes this so much harder. I could just buy them off the auction house, but that doesn't mean my troubles are over. Every 100 runs, I spent 165 million coins on automaton parts in average, which totaled to a massive 1.655 billion coins spent on automaton parts by the end of all the runs. This lowered my profits immensely, as you'll see in the loot section. Anyways, with all of the preparations out of the way, I started my first NUCLEUS run stream, which, unbeknownst to me, was the first of many to come. I had my viewers help set up the lobby by bombing tunnels between the structures, but later I'd retire this strategy in favor of just doing it myself, because frankly I don't trust random people in my stream, and I could do it just as fast in the end. The runs went quite well, with me even dropping a quick claw in my 33rd run, and this may have been a bit of a contributor to me deciding to do the other 900 after I was done. In any case, I really enjoyed myself. Anyways, off to the loot section of this video. To not bore you, I've grouped all the loot into different sections, and I won't mention each individual item for some things, but they will be put on screen if you want to see that, as well as their drop chance. First off, we have a bit of low-tier loot, which amounts to about 26 million coins. Then we have the gemstones that I got, which are worth about 265 million coins when combined. Notably, 68.1 million of these coins come from Jasper alone. I also got 5 flawless gemstones, 3 jades, 1 sapphire, and 1 jasper, all of which are quite rare, 1 out of 198 for a random flawless gemstone, and the jasper is way rarer. The jasper in specific is 1 out of 3,570 according to the wiki, and it is worth only 4.5 million coins. Next, we have a whopping 11,008 bob-ombs, which are worth a really surprising 94.6 million coins. I'll definitely be keeping these to set up lobbies in the future. I also got 585 pick and imbuses. Visit me to buy them in bulk, please. I have no idea how to sell these, which are worth an amazing 117 million coins. That definitely surprised me. Was not expecting it from pick and imbuses, of all things. Next up, we're starting to get into some of the rarer things with 85 Jade Emeralds, which add up to around 404.6 million coins. After that, however, I got 42 Fortune 4s, which are a good deal rarer, but only amount to 10.4 million coins. Before we get into the really rare RNGs, the thing that made me a ton of profit was Devon fragments. I got 350 of them, and that amounts to about 583.3 million coins, which is pretty crazy. Finally, the rare RNGs that I got. I got 13 recall potions, which amounts to only 2.6 million coins. 7 precious pearls, which are worth more, but still quite depressing at only 5.7 million coins. Finally, I got 4 quick claws, which are worth 380 million coins. Now, you may be asking, but Implodent, there's no way you didn't get an alloy in all of these runs. And my answer to that is, yeah, no, I didn't. I'm gonna be depressed forever. Most of the people with 1k runs have an alloy, and now I've joined the club of those who don't. Before I get into the final profits, I'd like to answer the question you're all wondering. Am I RNG carried? Well, I think the answer to this question is no. If anything, I'd say I'd slightly below average RNG. While I dropped a few more Jade Emeralds than expected, I dropped a whole 4 Quick Claws. I still don't think I'm RNG carried because I just didn't get an alloy, and that makes up so much of your potential profit from NUCLEUS runs. And I got the Flawless Jasper, which is just a kick in the teeth to anybody who knows what its rarity actually is. Well, the wiki says that the alloy is 1 out of 8,000 per NUCLEUS run. The way it works is that it goes up to 1 out of 800,000 after somebody drops one, takes an hour to go back down to 1 out of 80,000, and then takes another hour to go back down to 1 out of 8,000. A consistent amount of people have it at 1,000 or a number close to it. So my theory is that it actually goes down further to 1 out of 800. Don't take this for truth, though. It's just an educated guess. With that being said, I should have gotten an alloy, as most people have by my stage, but sadly didn't. Anyways, this is the fun part of the video. If we tally up the profits, I made about 1.962 billion coins, which sounds pretty good. Until you realize that I spent 1.655 billion coins in automaton parts. I profited only 300 million coins. I spent 100 hours of my life making less than farming. Just let that sink in, okay? I could have, farmed sugarcane for more money. I hate this. Anyways, thanks for watching this, and I hope you enjoyed. Hopefully, you also learned to never do NUCLEUS runs for profit. I generated the loot bundle. Is this the center? This is. I don't really know how to do this. I've seen other people do it in their guides, but I don't know how it works. I called it! It's a freaking wishing compass! No! 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 I got a wish. Oh no. Oh my god.